So here we are on instantquotetool.com. Okay, and so if you go to instantquotetool.com, this is the page that you'll see. We have some screenshots down here from different devices showing you what the solution looks like. Also, you could click right up here and click on Get Started, which I'll do in a little bit because I want to show you the different pricing setups and things like that we have. But first, before you do that, I know everybody wants to jump over and look at it. Don't do that yet. Just hold on. Let me actually show you what it does, since you won't be able to log in when you go there right away. So let me go ahead and sign in here. So once you sign in, there's a couple things that I want to show you about this solution. So number one, we have created a very, very basic, we could call it a CRM, but a very, very basic CRM solution. I want to make it very clear that the CRM is not really part of the value proposition here. It's there. I think CRMs are so cheap now that you could just get one for free anywhere pretty much. And we may eventually make this CRM free as well. This is not the value proposition, but we wanted to have somewhere for you to store your prospects and to attach the statements and quotes to the prospect and have them in an organized way. So we do have a really nice little CRM database here. When you click on an individual item, of course, we have a little pop-up here that will come up. Let's see here. We have, if I click on here, I could add a note and say, visited Bob, and that'll put a little note in there, like a comment. I could also go here and add an action, which takes me to my edit page. And maybe I go in here and say, well, actually, now I contacted him, and I need to stop back by to get, let's see here, to meet Susan. And we click here to select a date and say we're going to stop back by here, and we add the action. And now we have an action in there, so you get the idea. Now, let's go back over here. So let me show you a couple things about this. So first of all, we do have this here. We also have a nice little search box up here where you could search things like, I'm looking for a business called something like Corner. And we're like, okay, there it is, So you can search. Also, you can view all actions, which takes you to a calendar view, which is nice, especially when you're on your desktop. Just kind of get a calendar view of upcoming tasks that you have from all of your things that you're working on. One other thing I really want to point out here, though, is I want to talk to you about mobile-enabled, mobile-ready. So, again, behind the screen here, you're going to see some of the PowerPoint presentation. Just ignore that. But you can see as I scroll this down, we get to about this size right here, which is about the size you would have on an iPad. And so on an iPad, it changes to a panel view, so you can scroll through it. The entire website was designed with your mobile phone as the primary device, okay? I planned that you would do just about, I'll show you a couple things that are better on the desktop, but almost everything else we've done specifically for your phone. And so when you scrunch it down here, you can see now the navigation bar is a little smaller, and you can go all the way down to about about right here is where an iPhone screen would be. And again, it's kind of hard to see that because of the other things we have here. I'll move it around a little bit, but you can kind of see it here. This is how it would look on an iPhone, okay? And you still have your, right here, you can click on and all of this, okay? So again, not the main part of the value proposition by any stretch of the imagination. You're going to love the way that this looks on a mobile phone. It is very functional, it's dependable, it works, and it's a great little CRM if you want to have a CRM out in the field to manage your, prospects by stage and whatever else. And we're going to tie a lot of other things into this CRM as time goes on. Now, you say, James, what do we actually do with this tool? Let me show you what you do. Down here in the lower right-hand corner, you can click this little plus sign. And this takes you to a screen where you're going to choose a business type. Now, let me talk to you about this. So each of these, we have about 22 or 23 business types in here. These are the most common business types that you're going to find in the marketplace. However, there are some notable exceptions, all of which are going to be added over the next 30 days. And so, for instance, e-commerce. I do not have a category here for e-commerce at all. The truth is that e-commerce interchange fees are a lot more varied and complex. And so I just didn't put those in there yet. We have the algorithm ready to run them. I just have to now data entry. Just so you understand, this algorithm is what's called a learning algorithm, which means it gets smarter over time. It gets smarter the more data that it has. So I have a person who has been spending his full time for about oh, I don't know, goodness, 60 days full time doing nothing but data entering statements, interchange tables into this system so that the algorithm can run these calculations. So all that to say, these right here are all the ones that are supported, okay? So let's pick something that you would all probably be familiar with, like a quick service restaurant. So we'll choose that one. Now we're going to enter the business information here. So let's call this one Ryan's Taco Shack. And so the contact name is Ryan. You don't have to put, you could just put the business name. That's the only required field. And let's put a phone number in here, an email, ryan@thetacoshack.com. And let's say that the source type here, and I've left this one, this is not a multiple choice. It's more of like a tag for you to use however you want. So you can put whatever you want in there. But lead, and then we say this one, I've contacted him, okay? Now, when you click save, again, because now eventually I can change this if you prefer to have a button that goes back to the CRM, but I'm assuming that when you create a business, you want to instantly give them a quote. And I wanted to make this as simple as possible. The whole process takes about 30 seconds. I'm going to click on save and quote. Now, when I click Save and Quote, it's going to give me a little thing at the top saying the prospect was created. And then it's going to take me to this screen right here, which again, you can tell this is not really designed for desktop use. It'll work great on a desktop, but it looks a little funky. It's actually meant to be viewed like this. And so again, not sure how well you can see that there, but this is really how it's meant to be viewed. Let me make it a little bit bigger. Just to hide the logo back there, you know, something like this. So imagine looking at this on your phone. It's very simple. It works great on your phone, and you know that's really more of you know what we're looking at here. Okay, so now up here at the top, you can do a couple things. So statement month, that field is actually available for you to use however you would like. You can name it whatever you want. I like to name it the month, so that's why I have it. So let's say it's the June statement, but you could just as easily name it, I don't know, you know, quick analysis before, you know, stop back. Like, you know, you can name it whatever you want. It doesn't matter. It's just like the statement name. But it's literally going to build a statement, which I'll show you in a second. It's pretty cool. So at this point, the only thing that we know about this business is that it's a quick service restaurant. And again, you wouldn't have had to even ask the business owner if it was. You know, you would already know that walking in. So at this point, keep in mind, we have yet to ask the business owner for anything. Okay? Now, we are now going to ask the business owner for one piece of information. Okay? One piece of information, possibly a few more, which you can see here. But this is a far cry from asking for the statement. Okay? The one piece of information that you absolutely must have is the total volume of that merchant. You have to have that, okay? It doesn't work if you don't know what their total volume is. So if you want to give somebody a quick bid, you could guess, you know, I think you're going to do $5,000 a month, whatever, it'll work. But ideally, you want to get their total volume. So let's say in this case that they process, you know, $8,000 a month in volume. So you put $8,000 here, okay? Now, I'm going to skip these next two for just a second. Right down here in the average ticket size, notice that it already has an amount there. Now you say, James, what is that amount? Why does it say $21.59? Well, here's why. My algorithm, when you created this prospect, my algorithm reached out to our database that we have and searched through all of the quick service restaurants that we have in the system, looked at their average ticket size. Over time, it's even going to do things like looking for keywords like taco, you know, maybe that would change it a little bit. But my algorithm has made a guess about what their average ticket size is based on the business type and the keywords in the name. That's what's happened, okay? So, $21.59. So let me encourage you on something here, okay? And I'm going to make this full screen again because I think it's a little distracting seeing the other stuff. Please do not guess about the average ticket, okay? Interchange fees are very complicated. Again, I'm not going to get all the nitty-gritty details, but I will tell you that putting the average ticket size in there correctly is very, very important. And if you're going to guess, please let my algorithm guess because it's going to guess a lot more accurately than you are, okay? Now, if you happen to know what the average ticket is, or if you're willing to ask the merchant, and you know, like here's what I've been doing this, using this, here's what I say. I say, Mr. Jones, now in my database, looking at all of my existing quick service clients, it looks like the average ticket size is around $21.50. Does that sound about right to you? let the merchant correct my algorithm, okay? Rather than you just saying, oh, I think it's about 50, that can get you into some serious trouble, okay? So, let my algorithm make the guesswork. If you don't even want to ask, you don't have to ask. If it looks reasonable, then just click next, okay? Now, here's the interesting thing about it. If we click create right now, without any of this other information, let me show you what you're going to get. Now, this it didn't take very long, but it does take about 2 seconds to load, okay? So I apologize for wasting 2 seconds of your time. I'll try to speed it up. And I actually mean that sincerely. I really am going to speed up the algorithm. But anyways, here's what it does just from that information. So keep in mind, at this point, we have asked the merchant only one thing. What is your total volume? That's it. So imagine the ways you could use this in your sales pitch. I mean, seriously, just imagine what you could do with that. You're just in a course of conversation. Yeah, I do credit card processing. What kind of volume do you guys do here? Most companies are doing around, 15, 20,000 a month. Is that kind of what you're doing? Oh, no, we're doing about 17. Really? Hold on one second. Let me show you something. And that's all the information that you need. Now you pull up your phone. You say, let me put this in here real quick and I'll show you something. Put the name of the business. You hit save and quote, and then you put 17,000 and hit next. And here's the screen you get to show the merchant on your smartphone or on your tablet. Okay? And by the way, when you have it on a smartphone, it actually eliminates some of these columns to make it fit. I will show you what I mean. Notice how we have less columns. I'll show you as I pull it out. See right there how I have more columns? And so that's part of being mobile enabled. And so depending on if you're on a tablet or a phone or a desktop, it's going to change the amount of information that you get. Because I recognize that on a phone, you don't want to get a lot of information. You want a nice, simple layout. So what is this actually showing us? Well, what it's showing us is, up here at the top, we have our 3 main card types. So this screen right here is only dealing with interchange. That's all this is. This is the interchange summary, okay? And what my algorithm has done is my algorithm has reached out to our database. It has combed through a lot of data to create this very long, extensive, and complicated table right here that you are scrolling through, okay? Now, again, I'm going to give you a nice format in a minute, but this is the messy version. This shows you everything, okay? Now, you say, James, what on earth would I do with this information? Well, really, the possibilities are endless. And part of this goes into a new training course I'm also going to roll out today that I didn't even talk about much, and that is advanced statement analysis, which you might think seems a little counterintuitive to what I'm talking about today, but it is actually important that you understand some things about interchange, and I can share some basic tips with you, and it's going to give you all kinds of insights to look at something like this and say things like, well, Mr. Jones, I can see here that you do about $8,000 in volume. Now, I can tell you that when I look at other quick service restaurants like yours, they're processing a pretty good percentage. Like, out of that 8,000, I'm guessing you're probably doing maybe $4,500 in what's called regulated check card. And you can see right here that they have a 22 cent per item fee and a 0.05%, percentage fee. That's the cost on those. And this is a great thing to show the merchant where you can say, again, this is a big part of your business. Now, if it's a auto repair shop, I'll show you the differences. It's not going to be a big part. There's different types of businesses, and each type of business is going to generate a totally different interchange table based on the business type and the average ticket size. Okay? So it takes all this information, puts it up into this nice little summary right up here at the top so that you can see what their total interchange fees would be, and you can walk them through and talk to them about what interchange fees are and open up a great conversation without getting very much data. Okay? Now, here's what I'm going to do, though. I am now going to go back a little bit here. Okay? And so let's actually go all the way back. And if you click on this little IQ up here at the top, it takes you back to your main screen. And so let's go ahead and create another one. This time let's do what shall we do? Let's do a small, here's like a convenience store. So they have really, really small ticket sizes. And we'll call this Rob's Convenience Store. And I'm just going to click enter, which does save and quote. And you can see how fast this is. And I'm going to say this was the June statement. And let's say that in June he did $25,000. But let's say that he also did some American Express. So let's say he did, $2,000 in American Express, and he did, $3,000 in PIN debit. So you'd be able to ask this question and say, Rob, how much did you do in American Express? Out of that 25,000, how much do you think was American Express? How much was Penn Debit? And this is where you can make an educated guess. It's not going to matter that much as long as you're not off by a ton. It's going to be pretty close, so don't worry too much about that. Now, down here in the average ticket, let's say that I look at it and he tells me, well, I'm not the normal convenience store because I sell higher end stuff, so my average ticket's actually around $17 instead of $12.36. I say, okay, so I just change it. I say, okay, $17. I can just put 17. I don't have to put the decimals in there. But I also, now on this one, I'm also going to ask him what he is paying. Now, I don't need the statement. Again, I'm trying to set the bar as low as I can for everybody to be able to use the tool. So, it's optional. But let's say that I want to actually do a comparison. I can say, now, do you know, Rob, how much did you think you spent last month total on all the credit card processing stuff, all the different fees for the debit and the American Express and everything else? And he says, well, James, I think I spent, let's see, 25,000. Let's say he spent around let's say $900. So he spent around $900 here. Okay, let's call it 1,000. So he spent $1,000. He says. So now when we click create, okay, now again it created our thing here, and you'll notice it's actually very different. It ranks it by the highest volume ones up top and the lowest volume ones at the bottom. The reason these down here is 0 is because they're actually like 0.2 transactions or 0.1. So you can kind of see how this looks. I'll let that sink in for a second here while I get a drink. And again, you can see how it looks on a mobile device as well. Here's a tablet. If I scroll down to a phone, here's how it looks on a phone. Actually, that's even a little narrow. There you go. That's a phone, so it still looks great. Okay? Now, say, well, James, that's really nice, but, what am I going to do with that? I got to be able to actually sell people. So, here's what we do. Well, let me show you something first. When you click over here and go to your profile, you can see Manage Programs. And when you click on Manage Programs, this is the one section that you'll have to excuse the formatting. We're going to do some additional work on this. Right now, it looks good on a desktop. It looks terrible on a phone because I'm kind of assuming you're going to be managing your programs and processor relationships, on your desktop, okay, on your laptop or at least your iPad. Now, let me explain this, okay? So these programs that we have in here, these are programs. A program is related to a processor. So if I clicked on, I want to create a new program, it's first going to send me here and have me create a new processor. And so we have public processors. We're actually going to have 4 of these on Monday. The other one we're going to have in here is a company called It's a technology solution for everybody in the industry. You can add your own credit card processor and you can add your own programs. Okay? Now, I will say that creating a program, there are definitely some complexities to creating a program, and so I'm going to talk more about that in just a minute. One of the things we're going to have rolled out early next week is going to be the Program Creation Wizard. Right now, I'll show you what it looks like. It's a little bit complicated when you click on it because there are just a bunch of fields. It's basically like putting the Schedule A and the compensation all inside of one file here, okay? And so that's what that does, okay? So you have your programs, but when you go back here, let's go back to our programs. We have all of our programs right here, and so these are all of my programs. Okay, now there's 2 different kinds of processors and programs. There's going to be public processors and programs that we create for you because we're going to do our work to integrate with as many processors as we can to make this as easy as possible. My goal is that within about 60 days, you'll just be able to go in and say, okay, I want to add this program or that program. But I think this really represents more the reality of where the industry is going, more of a brokerage. I think, salespeople are using a lot of different companies, and I'm trying to simplify that for you, okay? So let's go back here, and we're going to go back to our table that we had here for this particular merchant. Just refresh this here. And so we have this table here for this merchant. So we already know we have these programs that we've saved, and they include compensation. They include the Schedule A cost structure. That's all included with the program. It also includes like qualifications, like would they qualify for a program. So when I click Compare Program up here at the top, this is one of my favorite things about this solution. And again, now we're back into the part that's really good for mobile. And so, again, even on a mobile device, this looks really, really nice and clean here, okay? Now, what this does is this takes all of your current programs that you have loaded into the system, okay? And it compares the statement that was just created with all of those programs, and it gives you 3 criteria that you can sort by, okay? the bonus, so how much money you would make up front, the residual, okay, and then it has the savings. Okay. Now, again, this wasn't a real example, and so these numbers are a little bit inflated. But we did. It's funny actually. Just this morning, Ben Shirey, many of you know Ben, he's my business partner. He was like, James, I want to check your algorithm one more time before this big rollout. He was kind of like trying to rib me a little bit and give me a hard time. And so he just pulled up randomly 3 statements that we gotten from sales reps from totally different companies over the last 3 or 4 months. And one was like an auto sales company. They sold like 4-wheelers and things like that. Another one was a medical business, and another one was like a convenience store, whatever. Anyway, so he ran these things, and I mean, even he was blown away, having already seen what it did before. But on those 3 particular statements, maybe I got a little bit lucky on those, but one of them had about $60,000 in revenue, and my algorithm showed. I predicted the interchange. My algorithm predicted the interchange on that $60,000 a month merchant within $45. Okay. It's crazy. And not only that, but the actual interchange table that it created matched up almost identically with the one that was on the statement in terms of what interchange items were, used on that merchant. So it's really an interesting technology. And again, I think I got a little lucky there that it was that accurate, but it's very accurate. I mean, it's dead on. And again, I'm not even close to satisfied or stopping the improvement yet. I'm going to continue to improve the algorithm and make it more and more accurate as we continue to grow this solution. So anyways, we have all this here, and now we say, okay, now this part, of course, we're not showing this to the merchant. This is us looking at this going, let's see. Which company do I want to put this one with, right? Now, present. And when we click present, it creates this program summary. Now, this is actually what you would print to give to the merchant, okay? And so I could go right here. I could click Control P, and I could do this as, PDF, and I could print it, okay? Now, one of the things I'm working on that's going to be, again, we have, how technology solutions are. We have our initial rollout. 30 days from now, I'm doing a bunch of improvements. One of the things I already have one of my developers working on is the actual downloadable PDF that you don't have to print it to PDF. It's just going to download right to PDF, and it's going to look amazing. It's going to have little charts on it and graphs and stuff. It's going to be really cool. And it's going to be customized to have your, whatever picture you put in your profile. It's going to show your picture in your profile, and there's also going to be a way for you to add things like, content that you want to put on there. So you might have like, I don't know, whatever, your message to the merchant or whatever it is. You can have all that on there. So anyway, it creates this program summary right here. Now, the program summary does a couple things. Number one, down here, the interchange table, it limits it to the 15 highest volume interchange items. As you saw on the other table, there's like 50 interchange items, or in some cases 100 on some merchants, but I limit it to the top 15 because, again, it gives you a starting point for the conversation, and the numbers up here reflect the full interchange amount, but it has it here. Also, you'll notice that in the total fees right here, that represents, so when you look here and it has like Visa, MasterCard, and Discover, these total fees over here, that represents the interchange fees, the dues and assessments, the authorization fee, the basis points of markup, everything is reflected there. And then down here, the total, I also added in the other fees. I think I'm going to end up putting that down here in this other table. Again, we're still playing around with it. I want to make sure everybody's using it and that it's working well, and then we'll make some adjustments over the next 30 days. But I don't have it listed here with the other fees, like the monthly fee, the PCI compliance fee, and all that. But that's all included in the program, and it's all calculated there in the total fees section. And then we take the total fees versus what they paid, what they said their total fees were. Now, if you don't list the total fees, that part just won't show up, and I'll show you that in a minute. And then that gives you the annual savings. Okay? So this is a really nice form. And again, the key thing about this form is you didn't ever get a statement. This is nothing. You just created this out of thin air to show the merchant. And the pitch is going to be incredible because, as people say, well, I want you to review my statement. You can say, well, you know what, honestly, anybody that asks you for a statement today, they're just behind the times with the technology and algorithms and mathematics available today. There's no reason that I would even need to look at your statement. I can calculate it right here for you on the spot. Imagine what you could do with that. Imagine what you could do with that on the phone. Some of you have a phone sales team. If you don't get this, you're crazy. Some of you, you're out in the field selling every day. You've got to have this. You've got leads that are interested. Go with this tool and you can sell them right on the spot. Now, I want to talk very quickly about what's next and the pricing. Now, I'm going to do the pricing first and then tell you about what's next. And so I'm going to log out here. and go back to the home page. You can see the home page here, and then I'm going to click on pricing. So we have 3 different pricing programs that you can hopefully see right here. The one that you can get right now, today, and you could be logged into the system using it in 2 minutes, okay? All you have to do is go to instantquotetool.com, click on pricing, and then right here you just click on sign up, okay? And you click on sign up, and then you have step 1, which is to put in, let's say I want to create testing 1, 2, 3, and that one's probably already been created, we'll see. All right, no it's not. Okay, and we get out of this. So now I have this screen right here, and then all you have to do is click pay with card, and of course, I do credit card processing, right? So obviously I have a secure way to do this. So it's right here. Now, if you're on your mobile phone and you sign up, it's going to redirect you to a Stripe.com server, and you can put your information in there. It never touches my application. As most of you are familiar with this kind of thing, it just is all through, goes to the Stripe servers. So you put this in here, you pay your $99 fee, and that gets you 30 days access. It's monthly. You can cancel at any time. And so it's really just that simple. You can cancel whenever you want. It's $99 a month per user per month. And so that's the basic. That's for the individual sales professional that wants to use it individually. Let's go back here to the pricing page. Let me talk about the other 2 packages that we have. The second package here, both of these next 2 packages, they take 30 days to set up, okay? So you make your first payment, it's like your setup fee. You'll have access to a user license within 1 business day to use for whoever is on your team, okay? Here on this website, okay? But it takes 30 days to set up the additional features. The additional features are very simple. If you want to manage a team, now let me explain what this team thing is over here. This IQ team simply means you have a team of salespeople, but you don't want to have everything branded. You just want to send them to instantquotetool.com and let them just use the solution on our website. You don't really want to have your own website with it or anything else. You just want them to come and use this tool. This is the IQ team. The big difference here is the reporting. You're going to have a reporting dashboard 30 days from sign up. We will customize it for your purposes, and you'll be able to track your sales team. How many new prospects did they create? See all their prospects and quotes, that kind of thing. So this is perfect for the recruiter or for the small office. It's got 6 or 7 reps. You already have a static website. You don't really want to do anything crazy with your online presence, okay? And so that's the IQ team. It's $99 per month per user. Again, you could do 2 users on that. You could do 3, you could do 4, you could do 5. Some of you may have you and your spouse or you and your business partner sell and you want to have 2 licenses. This would be the one that you would set up. All you do is click on contact us. I've got a little contact us form set up right here for you, and you can just email us or you can fill out the form right here and we'll get right back to you on Monday to get you set up. It's really very simple. We would just take payment over the phone through the same server. You'd be all set, ready to go. The third one here, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on because this is one-on-one conversations because there's some complexity involved, and this is something that we should talk about if you're interested in it. It's really an incredible solution. If you're a registered brand or an ISO or a larger office where you want to have a website, let me kind of paint this picture for you real quickly, and then I'll take a bunch of questions. And if you have questions, you can go and type them out in the question box over to the right. I'm just about to get to those. The IQ ISO program is amazing because what we do is we actually build you a full stack website just like this one, okay? And so it's not like you're sharing my database. We're setting up your own database. And I think that's important because a lot of you, maybe you don't necessarily want my administrators to have access to all your data, whatever the case might be. Primarily, you want to just market the services, market what you do. Now, here's the key thing that this includes that's really interesting. So first of all, you have to do at least 5 users. So you could have 3 users, but you have to pay for 5 users at $129 a month to get this solution, okay? Because this is the website I'm going to build you. And again, go online and search for how much is a full stack website. Okay, then look up how much are development projects. I promise you the website I'm going to build you would cost you at least $20,000, not to mention the cost of creating the instant quote tool, the algorithm and all that, which would be in well over $100,000. So this is a $20,000 website plus. We're going to create the website for you absolutely free, no long-term commitment. All we ask is you make your first payment on day 1, okay? We don't start building your website until you make that first payment. Once you make your first payment, your users, if you choose, they can have instant access to instantquotetool.com. So you'll have access to the tool. You'll be able to use it. But during that 30 days, we're going to be building your website. Again, a totally custom website at your own domain. Obviously, I mean, again, I just be really clear, this whole solution you're seeing, we built this from scratch. I built a lot of it. Now it's kind of in a nice template form that we can duplicate. I have developers, designers, and things. We did this all ourselves. We didn't outsource there is not one line of code in this entire thing that was written by someone who's not an employee of my company. Okay, so we know how to do this. We know how to make it secure and all that. And so we're going to make you a website. Now, here's the cool thing, though. On your homepage, you're going to have a version of the quick analysis, the instant analysis tool. You're going to have a version of that. The instant quote tool is going to be right on your homepage for prospects. So imagine a prospect going to your website and all they have to enter is business type from a drop-down list and their total volume, and then they click a link that says get instant quote. And that's it. And without you doing anything, they are seeing a quote from your company. It's going to get emailed to them automatically, and all their information that they entered is going to be put into your CRM as a new prospect that you can assign to one of your users. So this is a killer tool if you're doing like marketing stuff, driving people to landing pages. Imagine just taking the whole process out. Also, the other thing we're going to do if you're in the IQ ISO, we're going to eventually make this available to everybody, and I'm going to talk about some things that are coming up. But this is at the beginning, it's only available for the IQ ISO. We're going to take, if you are working with a processor that has an online application where we can make a profile, we're going to link that to your program. So your reps could go right from selecting a program and showing the prospect the program summary. They could click paperwork and go right into the online application. Just all right, close it right on the spot. Same thing online. They could click and then they could sign right up online using the pricing and everything that was generated by the algorithm. So very cool technology. If you're, if you're an ISO or a registered brand or an office that's going to have 5 or more users and you're interested in this, just click contact us. I will personally spend probably a half hour on the phone with you. Then my business partner will spend a half hour on the phone with you. Then we're going to get you with a developer and we're going to spend a lot of time because we're going to be really developing this. Again, there's no long-term contract, so I've got to make it really good. Otherwise, you're going to leave me, and so that's our goal there.